Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and the first morning chat in a couple months now. And I know I always say that every time I film one of these because I just haven't been doing it consistently. But yeah, it's been a really long time since I've been just excited to sit down and film a video, like where I'm just in front of the camera. And I'll get into all of that, what's kind of been on my mind regarding that, why I decided to take such a long break, and yeah, just like catch up on other things like my trip to California last week, which was amazing, and the time that we spent with our friends there. So I'll chat about that as well. But before I get into all of that, just got my order from Glossier, and I filmed a makeup declutter last month and I just posted it last week. But I think I mentioned in that video how I was running out of my boy brow, and I didn't want to order just the boy brow because I didn't want to pay for shipping. I think it's like free shipping after $30. I have been really curious about the new line of shades from Glossier in terms of their perfecting skin tint and the stretch concealer, because previously I think they only had like 4 shades, and my old one, the one I've gone through many tubes of, I've been using dark. So now I think they're numbered from like G1 to G12 or G11, so there are a lot more shades now. And I picked up, this is G7. So just first glance, that's what it looks like. It looks slightly darker than the old formula, but yeah, nothing too crazy. I hope it's a good match for me, but I'm actually not going to open the skin tint today because I currently already have 2 that are open. This is my 3rd pot of the stretch concealer, and I wanted to like the first one, but I couldn't finish it up before it expired. And this has like a freakishly small expiration date, considering that it's not like a green beauty brand, because I feel like some of my, like even my RMS or the Sappho Hint Beauty, I think those were all like at least 12 months. The shelf life is 12 months once open, so this is 6 months. So my first pot I chucked because it expired before I can finish it, and then the second one I just yeah, I was only using it for my under eyes, and then I decided I didn't really like that anymore. But here I am. I bought a 3rd pot because I wanted to see the new shade. This is in the shade G8, and it looks like that. I wish I just held onto the shade medium. I tossed it when I was decluttering, and I didn't know that I would be picking this up, so I didn't have that much foresight. So my RMS Beauty Concealer is almost out, and that pot has been long expired. I just haven't wanted to let it go. So I've got like this much product left, and I just didn't want to spend the $36 to repurchase this, to be honest, and this is why I just picked this up with my Glossier credit. I think they look pretty similar just out of the pot. The lighting there makes it look like this is way darker. So I'm just going to be home today, and I don't want to put on skin tint all over my face, so I'm just going to kind of test this out while I talk to you. Oh, okay, the color matches so much better, because I remember when I had medium, every time I would put my finger into the pot, it just always looked way too light. So where should I start? How about why I haven't been filming morning chats? So after the 30 Days of Crushing Anxiety series, where I was vlogging every single day, I got so burnt out after that, you guys. Like, I know it's tough to vlog every day anyway, and I did like it wasn't quite 30 days, but I think I went like 22 or 23 days of like uploading morning chats every day when I first started, and that wasn't easy. But yeah, the 30 Days of Crushing Anxiety on my Above the Waves channel was so intense for me, because, you know, it wasn't like just to sit down and talking about fun stuff all the time, like products and whatever. But yeah, just every episode felt so heavy, and I think definitely after that I just was so grossed out by the camera, and I didn't want to be on camera for a while. I also wanted to experiment more with like voiceover videos, which is why the last 2 or 3 I've done the decluttering my makeup, decluttering my closet, and oh, my packing video. Yeah, because we got this like super cool tripod that has been on my wish list for years, and it's one of those tripods where you can extend the top and then you can turn it like that, so that if your camera's here, you can get like a really nice flat overhead shot. Because previous to that, I would have to like set it up in some really awkward way, and I don't have much room that I'm working with in this corner of my bedroom. And if you watched my what I packed for New York video, Brandon had to hold the tripod and a lamp, and he was holding it the whole time, and we had to keep taking breaks because his arms were getting tired and he was sweating. And then it was after that video where we're like, let's just buy the damn tripod. Because previously, before we purchased that one, I mean, we've been working with a $20 Amazon tripod, which is fine, right? But because I've been wanting to experiment with like different types of videos instead of just sitting and talking into the camera, we just decided to go ahead. So yeah, took a break, big break after crushing anxiety. And then, you know, it's kind of like working out, right? Where you take a long break. And I feel this way with CrossFit every time. Like every time I take an extended break, which is like more than a week, it is so, the thought of going back is so intimidating. And it's so easy to find reasons not to do it. And for me, it was like, okay, well, I can always spend this time on Monday, like instead of filming, I could be working on like work stuff, right? Above the wave stuff. And that just kept going every single week. And it was, okay, so this week I'm going to try to film a video, and then something else happened. And yeah, it just was so easy to excuse myself from it. And then it got to a point where so much time has passed where I was like, oh my gosh, maybe I'm just like done with this series. I don't know, you know? And that made me so sad because I still get comments from you guys, whether they're DMs or emails or just in my other videos where you tell me, you know, how much you miss morning chat. And that every time I read a comment like that, it makes me sad because I think about how this series is what helped me start gaining traction on my channel and actually like having a relationship with you. So I think that was a moment maybe like 2 weeks ago where I started thinking like, okay, I don't want to give up on this series. I just needed some space, you know, without forcing myself to do it when I didn't want to. And then I guess the other thing on top of that is I just started having these negative thoughts around, you know, just thinking like there's really nothing super new or exciting that's going on in my life. Like honestly, almost every single day, I'm sitting at the dining room table with Brandon and we're working, and I am just on the computer. I just felt so, one, I felt boring. Like, what would I sit down and talk about on morning chat? And two, like, you know, obviously there's like business related stuff that I don't quite want to share maybe yet on this channel. And I guess the other thing is I was afraid of like annoying people, you know, because my coaching program is like such a big part of my life right now. I guess I was afraid to come on camera and just talk about that every week and just, you know, not have it be interesting to you guys. So I just decided not to do it at all. And I didn't like that mentality that I started developing. So anyway, planted the seed that I would come back to doing this. And we went to California for a week last week, and that trip I think really rejuvenated me. And it was such a big push into me sitting here to film this with you today, so I would love to tell you more about that. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, the other thing that I feel like I'm slowly getting requests in for are, many of you guys have asked me to start a podcast, and that is something that I'm only recently starting to seriously consider. I was toying with it earlier, but it just felt like with everything else that I'm juggling with Brandon, it didn't seem like the best time to start something like that. But anyway, I am considering it, and I'm already thinking about what I would talk about on the podcast and the kinds of conversations I want to have with the guests that I invite on and all of that. So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there, share that with you. By the way, I've kind of really like this product right now. I mean, I'll have to see how it creases under my eyes throughout the day, but man, it's just blending in pretty seamlessly to my skin. So going back to the trip to California, the way that this unfolded was so perfect because it was towards the end of the year. I think it was in China or on our way to China. Brandon was telling me how, because he used to travel a lot when he was working at Reebok, and he'd accrued a ton of miles with Korean Air. Yeah, Korean Air. And basically he had all this mileage that was set to expire if he didn't book tickets by the end of last year, so 2018. And we were thinking about like, oh my gosh, like where should we go? Because he had enough mileage to cover both of us, round trip. I think in the States though. And then we remembered how last year when we met Alli and Nick in California and we're hanging out with Chrissstttiiine, Nick and Alli, they go to the Natural Products Expo every year. And last year, I don't even remember how we got to talking about it, but it had happened around the time that we were visiting California. And Nick and Alli were both like, oh, you guys should come back to California next year and go with us. I really wanted to take them up on that offer because I've been wanting to go to Natural Products Expo, or there's like a beauty convention that I don't know the name of. I think at some point I wanted to go to VidCon, but it was always, I knew about all of these things when we were living in Korea. And so yeah, we remembered that, and then Brandon and I, we just booked our tickets. So basically we flew to California for free. The other cool thing on top of that was Nick and Alli at the end of last year had just moved into their 2-bedroom apartment, because before I've been to their old house and it was a 1-bedroom. And so after they moved, at some point, I don't know if I was talking to Alli or Brandon was talking to Nick, because Brandon and Nick communicate pretty frequently. Actually, no, I think it was Alli, and I think she said, hey, like you guys are welcome to come and like stay with us if you're in California. And we're like, oh my gosh, this is like kind of perfect. So I took Alli up on her offer. Off to California we went. March 4th is when we got there. And man, like Alli and Nick are amazing. Like even before we got there, Alli had texted me and was asking me if, I needed anything. I guess like if she wanted to grab stuff for us while we're staying with her, which I thought was so sweet. And, she basically said, hey, like you and Brandon, you guys can take our car if you need to like see friends or do stuff. So just know that you have that option, and Nick is going to go pick you guys up at the airport. And we were arriving pretty late. I think it was like 8:30 on a Monday evening. So we're like, oh my goodness, so sweet. And so Nick picked us up. He took us to get Chipotle, which is so exciting because we don't have Chipotle here in Hawaii. And we got home. We hung out with them for a little bit. Actually, not a little bit. We ended up talking till like 1 a.m, I think, the 4 of us. We were sitting at their dining room table, and it was just so good to catch up. And one of the coolest things too was because when we met Nick and Alli last year, we hung out like I think 2 days, but this time it was like, it was a new environment. We were going to be staying in their space, and it was going to be way more intimate because, we're sleeping there. They were housing us for a week. So I was really excited about like how our friendship would blossom and develop and all of that. Yeah, it was just so cool because right off the bat, like Alli and I, there were a bunch of things that we were talking about that we clicked on as creators. And, Nick and Brandon are very supportive of both of us. And so they're like firing back and forth, like brainstorming all of these ideas. And I didn't realize how hungry for this connection I was. I feel like I was starved of it for, I don't know, like the last 5-6 months. We have really great friends, and we're lucky enough that we have amazing friends even here on this island. We have friends that own their own businesses and can sit with us and kind of talk about like their humble beginnings and the struggles they've had like working as spouses and all of these things. So I don't want to like discount any of that, but I'd never been in a situation where I was sitting with someone who also has a YouTube channel where we can sit and kind of talk about like our journey and some of the cool things that are happening and also some of the things that we are challenged with. And I felt like just so understood, and I didn't have to over explain anything to Alli. I feel like she just got me. And yeah, like even just like the first night, I felt so at peace about being there with them and also really excited to start filming again. And it was just the whole week of that. Yeah, I'm so thankful because like Nick and Alli were the exact kind of community that especially me needed. I know Brandon had a great time as well, but I didn't realize how much I needed that trip. Because usually even last year when we went to China and Korea, and as excited as I was to see our friends there was a part of me that felt guilty for traveling. Like I felt like we should be here and working and not going to like spend time with people we love. It just felt so indulgent. So I think I really struggled with that, but this trip to California was fantastic. On top of that, this is the other part that was so crazy to me. And I haven't talked about it here, obviously, and I wanted to just give some context because I know Chrissstttiiine talked about it in her recent video, her January, February favorites video. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so mid-January, Chrissstttiiine had uploaded this video where she talked about her goals for 2019, one of which was her sharing for the first time to like a very public audience that one of her goals this year was to quit smoking. And I just thought that was so freaking cool and brave of her to admit that on camera, especially, preparing for, I'm sure some people would have given her crap for admitting that, right? So I remember watching that and just being so moved by her. And previous to that, I remember her talking about how she stopped going to therapy and there was something else at play. And I'd been thinking for a while that, I would love to offer one person our coaching program, our 6-week course, Getting It Together. And she was someone that's been on my mind to offer it to. I thought about it for a while, and in mid-January, it just felt right. And so I texted her and I asked her if she would be interested in taking this course. And the way that I offered it to her, first of all, I never asked her for a shout out in a video, or I never asked her for reviews or testimonials or anything. Like, I didn't want her experience with our coaching program to have any kind of bias, or I didn't want her to feel like she's going to be taking this program and the whole time that she's doing the work with me, that she has to kind of think about what she's going to be saying when she talks about this program. So I didn't present any of those things to her at all. Like, I just wanted to give this to her as a friend, because she's always been so incredibly generous with me. Even when I first met her last year in person, I mean, it felt like we knew each other for a while because we were watching each other's YouTube channels. But yeah, she freaking let me and Brandon stay at her place for a week, and she like gave me so many clothes. Like, I came to Hawaii with like a new wardrobe. And whenever I have questions about like whether it's working with brands or I don't know, just like content creator related questions, like I'll shoot Chrissstttiiine a text, and she's always been so generous with her information. And for me, it just blew me away because I don't really have, other than Alli and Chrissstttiiine, I don't have any friends that do YouTube, so it can get lonely. Anyway, I offered her this program, not expecting her to say yes or anything, but almost immediately she texted me back and was like, oh my gosh, I would love to take a course with you. So I was like, oh my gosh, okay, let's do it. And it has been amazing because a part of the 6-week online course is that, she's doing her assignments every single day, minus the weekends. And we have a weekly one-on-one call. So it's been amazing to be on the receiving end of watching Chrissstttiiine, first of all, share the things that she's going through. And then like for us to kind of sit and talk to each other and like strategize a plan. And then from that call until the next one, she's just kind of experimenting with the things that we talked about. And then the next call, we kind of meet up again, and then we brainstorm again, or she talks about like different, you know, actions she's taken since our call, some of the wins that she's had or challenges she's faced. And yeah, just seeing her be open to different ideas and just kind of sharing things vulnerably and being willing to try out certain things that might not be so easy, and then coming back and like telling me the things that she's learned and how much happier she's been. And it just has been mind-blowing for me, right? And I felt so honored to be on this side of being able to offer that to her. And then, like, as soon as our program ended, so the 6-week course, round 2 of it ended last week, actually, yeah. She shouted me out on her YouTube channel in her favorites video, and she was just talking about like her experience and how, like, some of the most memorable things she said was, you know, I wish I could buy everyone a session with Jenn, or I owe Jenn so much. And she has told me, I don't know if it's through video or in person, that like the experience was life-changing for her. And I still remember, I was, Brandon, me, Nick and Alli, we were in their kitchen. And I think just the day before, Chrissstttiiine came over and we all had dinner together. So yeah, it was the day after that. We were just hanging around and I was like, ooh, like Chrissstttiiine uploaded a video. And I clicked on it real quick, and I was the second thing she mentioned in her favorites video, and the 4 of us were just like celebrating and just freaking out and just being like, oh my gosh. So like, yeah, I texted Chrissstttiiine and, you know, just thanked her. But it's just so crazy to think of like all the different opportunities that I've had because of YouTube, and the friendships I've made, and the doors that have opened, and the fact that I'm sitting here in Hawaii, like talking to you into this camera. It just blows my mind. Like I can't contain it. I don't know, I guess I'm just kind of at a loss for words as I'm just recapping what happened. Brandon and I were getting ready to launch round 3 of it. We don't even have a launch date yet, but it's just the momentum I've gained with not only Chrissstttiiine but other clients. And I don't want to share too much detail about my other clients because I didn't get their permission, but with Chrissstttiiine I asked if I could, you know, is it okay that I talk about it? And she's like, yeah, I've been telling everyone about it, you're good. So yeah, I wanted to share that with you because it is such a big part of my life, right? And how could I sit here and not talk about it with you? And, you know, if me talking about this coaching thing is annoying, I'm not sorry, because, you know, here's the thing. It's one, like, I worry about, like, not being able to share what's really going on and then just never showing up for morning chats because I don't want to be annoying. Or the other option is I'm here and I tell you about it and, you know, you are excited for me, you're happy for me because you've been supporting me or supporting what we do. And so I am trying to be less apologetic about this whole thing, right? It's not easy at all, especially with my personality temperament where, you know, I always want to be respectful and I don't want to appear pushy and stuff, but I need to get over that. Anyway, so that was a huge highlight and just another amazing reminder of what we're doing. And yeah, it was just such an encouragement. And then, man, we got to have lunch with one of our friends, Tiffany, who I also met through YouTube, and it was just so amazing to see her in person because we met for the first time in Korea in 2017, and when I met her then, she was pregnant with her son. And so this time when we saw her in California, we actually got to meet him, and he is so freaking cute. That was awesome. And of course, in true Tiffany style, like, she came with the shopping bag, and like, oh my gosh, this girl is one of the most thoughtful people I've ever met, where, you know, she knows how much Brandon and I love our snacks and our Pirate's Booty, the white cheddar puff. So she got us 2 bags of like this other baked corn puff snack that she thinks tastes better than Pirate's Booty. And then she got us these like 4 giant oranges. I forget what they're called, but so delicious. She got me like this balm cleanser from Sephora because she's like, I know you travel a lot and, you know, I think balms are easy to travel with and it's supposed to work really well. So she got me that, and then she freaking went and like searched for this one bag of this cinnamon snack that I wrote about in a gratitude newsletter Brandon and I had picked it up in Korea, and you know, when our friend Sandra introduced us to it, she kind of like didn't hype it up or anything. She's like, oh, this one's pretty good, so we're like, okay, let's get it. And that snack just like blew our minds. And I talked about it in my Friday newsletter, and Tiffany, apparently before she met up with us for lunch, she was just going around to different stores trying to look for this snack so she could gift it to us, and she eventually found a bag. And she tried to get more, but I think they were sold out. I don't know. This woman is... See, again, it's like another incredibly, almost unbelievable blessing. Another friend that I got to make through YouTube. And yeah, so we got to see her and have lunch with her and meet her son. And then hung out with Chrissstttiiine pretty much all weekend. Yeah, because... we asked her to sleep over at Alli's, and she came. And then Nick and Alli, you know, they wanted to show us Joshua Tree because Brandon and I had never been there, and they were talking about the super bloom, where because of all the rain, it's supposed to be really beautiful with all these different flowers. And Nick is such an interesting guy. Like, I've never met someone like him where like he just is so just joyful, and he doesn't drink coffee, which is crazy. So he like wakes up and he's happy and just so nice to everyone. And, you know, he just kept saying like, it'd be really cool if we went to Joshua Tree early Sunday morning, so that we can like take pictures with the sunrise. And then, yeah, in the evening we can stay there until there's sunset, and then he'd take pictures of us. And the only requirement was that we had to get up at 3 in the morning. And it was like a 2 or 3 hour drive. But Nick was like, okay, we're just going to go to sleep. And then in the morning when everyone wakes up at 3, just don't lose your sleep. Just, you know, hold on to that sleep and then just get into the car and then just pass out. And like, I'll wake you up when we get there. And we're like, oh my gosh, Nick, you are so freaking nice. And he just drove so much. There and back, and just even while we were there, he wanted to make sure that we saw everything that we were supposed to see, and he took us to like to check out all these cute little boutique shops, and you know, we all had breakfast together, and he was just running around just capturing photos for all of us and just capturing memories. What an incredible man. And actually not that one, but I have a picture that Nick took of me and Brandon that's framed in our living room right now that I also sent out in my Friday newsletter. Yeah, every time I see it, I'm just reminded of this amazing week that we had. And I feel... It's funny, like, apart from, you know, this great time that we had in California, like, other parts of my life, my circumstances haven't changed or anything, but I think because I felt so full after the time that we had in California, I feel so rejuvenated. Like, I feel like I'm running on massive caffeine right now, which I'm not. And yeah, something just like kind of switched off in my head since getting back. And even though we have the same, if not more, work to do, I'm feeling less anxious and just way more excited and motivated. The other cool thing that I'm trying to do right now is to organize a mastermind for me, Alli, and Chrissstttiiine. So I want to, or this is like what I'm planning right now, is we're gonna meet once a month, I think on Google Hangouts for like an hour or two, and it's just gonna be a monthly meeting where the three of us kind of talk about like the goals we have for our channel or the things that we're working towards, some of the challenges we're facing, and we're just gonna chat. And Alli and Chrissstttiiine said that they were both down for it, and it's just a matter of me coming up with the agenda and like scheduling it, and yeah, and making it happen. So that's so exciting. Like, I don't have my community here in terms of, you know, being able to meet people face to face, like other content creators. So I'm gonna just make it happen for us, for myself, you know, virtually. So exciting. I think that's enough concealer, right? I mean, oh yeah, the Natural Products Expo was super cool. Oh my gosh, what a crazy experience. I mean, we're talking, I mean, if you're in California, you might be familiar with this, but it was at the Anaheim Convention Center, which is like right by Disneyland. And this place is huge. And it wasn't just like one hall or stadium hall, there were multiple floors and just so many people and so many vendors. And it was just so insane. You just like walk up and down, like hit up all these different booths. So you get to try like samples of all of these like healthy snacks, food. We fell in love with like Beyond Meat. It's like a plant-based patty that like freaking the texture and the taste, it tastes just like meat. It's so weird. We had like sausages from Beyond Meat and a burger. What else did we have? It was like empanadas, but inside it wasn't beef, but it freaking tasted just like it. And we came home with like bags and bags of different snacks that I'd never tried before. And on top of that, like there were like lots of natural beauty brands too. So let's see. I picked up some things from Dr. Bronner's, David's toothpaste was there. They're coming out, or they have come out with a new toothpaste. It's like a charcoal peppermint one. We have a tube of that. We got to meet the people at Hydro Flask, Booty Underwear, which is basically most of my boy shorts, my bra, and socks are from there. It's an Australian brand, but the material's made of bamboo, and it's like pretty quick drying, and I really like it. They were there. Everyone was there. And we just came home with so much stuff. It was very exciting. I'm just going to put on a little bit of my Burriti bronzer. Just because. What else? It was so cool because like I was walking around with Alli, and like some of these people, actually a lot of people were recognizing her. Like different brands, like Clean Canteen. I think the guy there was like, Alli. And there were a few other brands. But I just kept joking with her that I was like, hey, if you want, like, I'll just go hide in a different booth and then I'll just pop out and like freak out. Like, oh my gosh, it's Alli Nicky Cherry. You know, just to like build up her street cred. I didn't actually do that. But anyway, so many people were excited to see Alli and they recognized her. We got to, oh my gosh, one of the best things that we got to try was Oatly, which is oat milk. And it was so delicious. And at their booth, they would make oat milk lattes, and it was so good. Like the 2 days that we went to the Natural Products Expo, we were like gunning for Oatly to get the lattes. They're so freaking good. So I guess I'll just put some here. I'm gonna put on some lip whip. Seriously, I know I talked about this in my makeup declutter video, but I was so sad when I forgot that I had this because I really like this product. And yeah, it was just like buried in my makeup bag in my drawer that I don't really, you know, access every day. Yeah, it's so nice. It's really just a slight shine, I guess, sheen, very similar to my natural lip color. And yeah, it's not one I put on before bed because it has a little bit of a tint, but so great for, you know, if I'm gonna be working at home and I don't want to put on like a full-on lip, but just like a little bit. So yay. So how are you? I'm sorry I didn't ask earlier. I just kind of I went a little nuts there, didn't I? Let me know how you're doing in the comment down below, and I guess if you have any requests for videos that I can do or maybe topics to discuss on morning chats, just to keep this momentum going, will you take some time to let me know down below? I'm also gearing up for a new video series I want to do over on Above the Waves, and I think I'm going to record my first video tomorrow and hopefully have it uploaded by the end of this week at the very latest. So just wanted to share that. It should be fun. It's a video series that we've been talking about for a while. It'll be a short one too. It's like a 5-part video series, and I'm just going to be breaking down the 5 different personality traits and kind of where I fall on the spectrum in them. That's where we're going to start, and then we're going to build with other videos in terms of like how certain personality traits play with others to kind of give you your unique personality makeup. There's some freaking things that I learned about myself that I was shocked about, because you might remember when I first started my morning chats, or yeah, pretty early on in the beginning, I had a realization that I am actually an introvert. And my whole life in college, I totally thought I was extroverted. And then when I found out after college that I am an introvert, that like blew my mind. It turns out I'm actually like I'm in the 98th percentile for extroversion. I know, it's crazy. And I can't wait to explain all of that to you later over there. But yeah, apparently I'm extremely extroverted, and the thing that kept me from thinking that I was is because of my neuroticism or my high sensitivity to negative emotions. And it's like very specific situations where I can be fully myself and fully extroverted, because in a lot of ways, when I enter into a situation that is unknown, like my mind kind of can go down a rabbit hole of all the things that could go wrong or all the different uncertainties. And my neuroticism is at play on my extroversion, which makes me kind of draw back and feel like I'm an introvert when I'm not. Does that make sense? Anyway, that needs to be a separate video, and I'll get to work on putting that together. But yeah, if you're still here, I just want to say thank you so much for, being so supportive of me and being excited every time I upload my videos, and for taking the time to like let me know down below, whether you've left me a comment or an email or a DM or Instagram comment, wherever it is, for you to just let me know that you're looking forward to my videos and that you've missed me. Like, that still means the world to me. So thank you so much. And yeah, let me know how you're doing down below. And if you have any requests for video ideas or morning chat topics, love to hear about them. I will talk to you soon. Bye.